There comes a moment in your journey when God steps into the middle of what looks impossible and begins to move in ways you didn't expect, in ways you couldn't predict, in ways you could not imagine. You have been praying, waiting, believing, and perhaps even wondering whether your breakthrough would ever come, but the Lord has not forgotten you. He has seen every tear, every sacrifice, every sleepless night. He has counted every step of faith you took when no one else believed in you. And now, in His perfect timing, provision is being released, provision that has been stored up for the season you are walking into. What you think is delayed is actually being divinely prepared. What you think is slow is being shaped with precision. God has a way of sending what you need in the very moment you need it, not a moment too early and not a moment too late. There are financial blessings, unexpected resources, hidden opportunities, and supernatural favor being aligned on your behalf. You are entering a moment where God releases what you never saw coming, money you didn't expect, help you didn't request but desperately needed, strength you didn't realize was available to you. When God sends help, it doesn't always look like what you envisioned. Sometimes it comes through people you never thought would support you. Sometimes it comes through doors that weren't supposed to open. Sometimes it arrives through ideas, strategies, or wisdom that suddenly illuminates your mind, but the source is always Him. He is your provider, your sustainer, your strength, your anchor. You may feel surrounded by pressure, but He surrounds you with favor. You may feel overwhelmed, but He surrounds you with grace. Do not question the process simply because you cannot see the next step. God often hides His greatest blessings in seasons that feel uncomfortable. But in those very moments, He is working behind the scenes, arranging details, shifting circumstances, and moving hearts. Your assignment is to stay faithful. Keep believing, keep trusting, keep sowing seeds of obedience even when the ground looks dry. You are not defeated, you are not forgotten, you are not abandoned. Something is being released over your life, something unexpected, something powerful, something life-changing. Help is on the way, provision is on the way. God is sending exactly what you need, and when it arrives, you will know without question that it came from His hand. Here are 5 meaningful keynotes summarizing the whole speech. God's timing is perfect. Even when it feels delayed or slow, God is carefully preparing blessings and breakthroughs that will arrive exactly when needed. Provision is being released. Unexpected financial blessings, hidden opportunities, and supernatural favor are already being aligned for your life. Help comes in unexpected ways. God often sends help through surprising sources, people, ideas, doors, and wisdom you never imagined. Trust the process. God works behind the scenes in seasons that feel uncomfortable, arranging details and shifting circumstances for your good. You are not forgotten. God sees your faith, your tears, your struggles, and He is sending the help, strength, and provision you need right now. God's timing often appears mysterious, especially when you find yourself standing in a season of waiting, but what looks like delay is never denial. There are moments in life when you pray and nothing seems to shift, when you knock and the door stays closed, when you stretch your faith and still the outcome feels distant. Yet in those very moments, God is working with a precision beyond your understanding. He sees where you are and where you need to be, and He aligns the steps that will carry you into your destiny. His timing is not bound by fear, pressure, or human expectations. His timing is guided by perfect understanding, eternal wisdom, and divine purpose. The waiting season tests the heart. It reveals whether you trust Him for who He is, not just for what He gives. It stretches your faith and anchors your hope. It teaches you to listen for His voice and rely on His strength. Sometimes God slows you down because He knows the path ahead is not ready yet. Sometimes He delays the blessing because He is shaping you into someone capable of carrying what He has prepared. What you see as a pause, God sees as protection. What feels like a standstill is actually a setup. He guards you from premature opportunities and positions you for the fullness of His promise. Look at the stories woven throughout Scripture. Every major miracle carried a moment of waiting. Abraham waited for a promised son. Joseph waited in prison before his elevation. Moses waited in the wilderness before leading a nation. David waited for his crown while tending sheep. Each one experienced seasons where nothing made sense, yet God's timing made everything fall perfectly into place. When the promise finally appeared, it came with purpose, power, and fulfillment beyond what they could have imagined. Their timelines were shaped by divine orchestration, not earthly impatience. God's timing is not simply about the moment when the blessing arrives, it is also about the journey that prepares your character. You may be asking why things are taking so long, why doors remain shut, why resources seem held back, why solutions are slow to appear. But in the unseen realm, God is arranging connections, softening hearts, clearing obstacles, and building bridges that you cannot yet perceive. He aligns relationships, opportunities, and circumstances so that everything converges at the right moment. What you receive in His timing carries a weight of glory that rushed blessings could never hold. Sometimes God withholds what you are praying for because He has something bigger in mind, something that requires a deeper foundation, a clearer vision, and a stronger version of you. The season of waiting becomes a teacher. Waiting teaches patience, maturity, endurance, and dependence on Him. It teaches you to surrender control and trust the one who sees your beginning and your ending at the same time. When God finally releases what you have been praying for, it will not just meet your need, it will exceed your expectation. It will confirm that He has been present through every step, every silent moment, every long night. Hold on to the truth that He is never early and never late. He arrives in moments that display His glory and reinforce your faith. When the blessing comes, you will recognize the wisdom of His timing. You will look back and see that the delay protected you, strengthened you, shaped you, and prepared you. You will understand that His timing was perfect all along. There are moments in life when you look at your current situation and wonder how anything good could ever come from it. Yet God is already working behind the scenes, preparing provision that will surprise you. Provision is not always visible while it is being arranged. In fact, the greatest blessings often begin in places you cannot see. God knows the exact resources you need and the perfect timing to release them. You may feel as though you are struggling, stretching, or running out of strength, but God is aligning blessings that will arrive unexpectedly. The very areas where you feel lack are the places where God will pour abundance. The financial breakthrough you did not see coming is not a coincidence. It is the result of divine orchestration. When God releases provision, it often comes in ways that humble you, strengthen you, and remind you that He is the source of everything. People may look at your situation and count you out, thinking there is no way forward, but God is preparing something that will defy their expectations. Money may come from places you never imagined. Opportunities may arise without warning. Favor may be extended through individuals you barely know. The blessing does not depend on human systems. It flows from the Creator who owns everything. You may have tried, pushed, worked, and waited, but when God steps in, the shift is supernatural. What you could not earn in your own ability, God will release by His grace. Provision is not only about finances, it includes wisdom, clarity, vision, and direction. God may release an idea that opens a new stream of income. He may send a conversation that becomes the key to your next season. He may close one door so that you discover another that is far greater. His provision is designed to elevate you, not merely sustain you. It lifts you from survival into purpose. It strengthens your faith and reminds you that He hasn't forgotten your needs. Sometimes the answer comes quietly, almost without notice. Other times it arrives so dramatically that you cannot help but acknowledge His hand. The resources God releases are often connected to a greater purpose. He gives seed to the sower. When you are faithful with what He has entrusted to you, He multiplies it. What looks small now has the potential to become something powerful when surrendered to Him. A single opportunity can be the beginning of overflow. A single open door can change the trajectory of your future. A single release of provision can shift generations. God is strategic and intentional with every blessing He releases. There are seasons when everything feels tight and you struggle to see how you will make it through. But those are the seasons where God's faithfulness becomes most evident. Provision that you thought was lost suddenly appears. Debt that felt heavy begins to lift. Bills that seemed insurmountable are resolved. Pressure that weighed on your mind is replaced by peace. The supernatural provision of God is designed to ease the burden that you have been carrying. He knows the weight on your shoulders, and He promises to supply all your needs according to His riches. You may not see it now, but you are being positioned for a release. What you prayed for, what you dreamed of, what you hoped would one day manifest is closer than you realize. Provision is on its way. Blessings are being aligned. Favor is being prepared. God is releasing what you never saw coming, resources that will restore, uplift, and strengthen you for the road ahead. Help from God often arrives wrapped in unexpected forms, delivered through channels you never would have chosen, and carried by people you never imagined would be part of your story. When you ask God for strength, sometimes He sends a person who speaks encouragement at the exact moment you were about to give up. When you pray for direction, sometimes He gives you a small opportunity that seems insignificant at first, but later becomes the doorway that leads to greater blessings. The way He responds may surprise you, but His responses are always perfect. His solutions are wiser than your strategies, and His timing is more precise than your planning. There are seasons when you expect help from familiar places, people you trust, doors you've knocked on, positions you have looked toward, yet nothing comes from them. It can feel disappointing, but God often closes those routes to make room for His supernatural intervention. He doesn't want you to think that your breakthrough came from human strength. He wants you to recognize His hand in the process. When He sends help, He does it in such a way that it removes all doubt that He was the source. He may send someone you least expected, someone whose presence in your life seems random but is actually part of His divine design. He may send favor through a stranger, through a conversation, through circumstances that shift suddenly. Sometimes help comes disguised as a challenge. What feels like a setback may be the very thing that positions you for growth. What seems like opposition may actually develop strength, discipline, and resilience inside you. God uses unexpected moments to shape your character so you can handle the blessing He is preparing. The problem that frustrates you may be the tool He uses to reveal your purpose. The loss that broke your heart may be the turning point that sets you on the path to restoration. Help does not always look like comfort. Sometimes it looks like transformation. There are other times when God's help arrives quietly. It may be a sudden peace that calms your mind. It may be clarity during confusion. It may be wisdom you never had before, or an idea that lights up your spirit. These quiet provisions are often more powerful than the loud miracles because they stabilize your inner world. They remind you that God is with you even when no one else sees what you are going through. His presence becomes your anchor. His guidance becomes your roadmap. His voice becomes your reassurance. Help also comes through divine alignment. God places the right people on your path at the right time. He sends mentors, advisors, encouragers, partners, and supporters who speak life into you when you feel discouraged. He removes people who would distract you or delay you. He opens doors that no one else can open, and He closes doors that were never meant for you. Every shift, every movement, every divine connection is part of His help. You may not always feel it, and you may not always recognize it, but God's help is active. When you think you are alone, He surrounds you. When you feel weak, He strengthens you. When you feel overwhelmed, He lifts you. He never abandons His children. Every moment of support, every whisper of guidance, every spark of hope is a reminder that He is walking beside you. The help you need is already moving toward you, and when it arrives, you will see that it came from a hand far greater than your own. Trusting the process becomes one of the greatest challenges when the circumstances around you seem to contradict the promises God has spoken over your life. There are moments when everything appears stuck, when prayers feel unanswered, and when hope seems distant. Yet it is in those very moments that the deepest work is taking place, not in what you can see, but in what God is shaping beneath the surface. His silence does not mean His absence. His delay does not signal denial. His stillness does not reflect inactivity. God often works in hidden places, behind closed doors, in unseen realms, arranging details you don't even know you need. Trusting the process means believing that even when nothing makes sense, everything is unfolding exactly as it should. There are seasons when the discomfort feels overwhelming. You may question why God allowed certain struggles, why doors shut, why people walked away, why opportunities collapsed, why blessings were delayed. But these very experiences are part of the shaping. Pressure produces endurance. Darkness reveals faith. Waiting develops strength. Loss breaks pride. Challenges build character. God uses every moment, both the painful and the beautiful, to sculpt you into who you must become for the next chapter of your life. The process is rarely easy because it is designed not only to change your circumstances, but to change you from the inside out. You might be walking through a valley, but even there God is molding you. He is stripping away fears, removing doubts, breaking old mindsets, and building spiritual maturity. He knows the battles ahead and prepares you through the ones you face now. You may think He is withholding progress, but He is actually laying a foundation that cannot be shaken. When God builds something, He builds it to last. Temporary discomfort leads to permanent growth. Trusting the process means embracing the fact that God sees the entire picture while you only see the moment. In times of confusion, trust becomes essential. You don't need to understand everything to move forward. You don't need answers to stay faithful. You don't need clarity to keep believing. Faith grows, strongest when you walk, even though you cannot see. God often reveals direction one step at a time, not because He wants to hide the future, but because He wants you to depend on Him for each step. If He showed you the whole journey, fear might hold you back. If He revealed every detail, you might try to take control. Instead, He gives you enough light for the next step and invites you to trust Him with the rest. Even setbacks serve a purpose. Closed doors are protection, delays are preparation, detours are redirection. What you see as failure may actually be God shifting you toward what is better. You may not appreciate the process now, but later you will look back and realize that everything was necessary. The people who left made space for the right ones to arrive. The opportunities that slipped away led you toward greater ones. The pain you endured unlocked a depth of wisdom you never would have gained otherwise. God wastes nothing. Every piece of your story contributes to the beauty of what He is building. Trusting the process means surrendering your timeline, your desires, your fears, and your expectations to a God who loves you more deeply than you can comprehend. It means choosing peace even when circumstances are chaotic. It means believing that God is guiding, shaping, and strengthening you even when the path is unclear. It means reminding yourself that His plan is always better than yours and His timing is always perfect. What He is preparing behind the scenes will reveal His faithfulness in ways you have never seen before. You may have walked through seasons where you felt invisible, overlooked, or forgotten, but the truth is that God has been watching over every step you have taken. Every tear you cried has been seen. Every prayer you whispered has been heard. Every moment you felt alone, He was standing beside you, even when you couldn't sense His presence. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not unseen. God pays attention to the details of your life, and nothing you face escapes His notice. Even when people walked away, even when support faded, even when doors closed, He remained constant, faithful, and present. There are times when the enemy tries to convince you that your prayers aren't working, that your effort is wasted, that your journey is pointless. But God has already declared a different narrative over you. He sees your faith even when it's small. He sees your perseverance even when you are tired. He sees your obedience even when it is difficult. You are not forgotten because you are engraved on the palms of His hands. His eyes have been on you through every storm, every battle, every desert season. He has protected you from dangers you never knew existed. He has preserved you when the odds were stacked against you. He has strengthened you when you could have collapsed under the weight of life. Being seen by God means being valued beyond human limitations. People may judge you by your past, misunderstand your intentions, or underestimate your potential, but God does not. He knows your purpose, your calling, your destiny. He sees what you are becoming, even when others only see your struggles. He recognizes the greatness within you even when you doubt it yourself. You are not forgotten because your life carries divine intention. You were created with purpose, crafted with care, and destined for impact. When God says you are not forgotten, it means He has a plan already unfolding for your breakthrough. You may not feel progress, but progress is happening. You may not see change, but change is coming. There are blessings being prepared for you that will silence every lie of the enemy. There are opportunities being aligned that will make sense of the tears you cried. There is help being sent that will lift you out of the place of heaviness. His timing is precise, and His provision is sure. Just when you think nothing is shifting, God is moving in ways that will soon be undeniable. You are not forgotten because He has invested too much in you to leave you where you are. He has shaped you, refined you, strengthened you, and prepared you. He has held you together through seasons that could have broken you. He has sustained you when you felt empty. He has comforted you in nights of quiet suffering. Everything you have endured is evidence that He has walked every step with you. The fact that you are still standing is proof of His faithfulness. There is a release coming that will remind you that He has been present all along. Breakthrough is on its way. Provision is on its way. Restoration is on its way. God is sending help now, and when it arrives, you will understand that He never forgot you for a moment. His love, His presence, and His faithfulness have surrounded you from the beginning, and they will carry you into the future He has prepared for you. In this moment, stand with confidence, because everything you have walked through has been preparing you for what God is now releasing into your life. The waiting, the tears, the battles, the questions, none of it has been wasted. You are stepping into a season where the unseen becomes visible, where what was delayed is delivered, where what felt impossible becomes reality. God is releasing provision you never imagined, aligning help you didn't expect, and restoring strength you thought you lost. His hand has been guiding you, His presence has been covering you, and His purpose has been shaping you all along. Lift your eyes, because the breakthrough is closer than you think. Lift your faith, because the answer is already on the way. Lift your heart, because the God who promised to care for you has not forgotten you. This is your moment of release, your moment of restoration, your moment of divine intervention. Help is coming, blessings are coming, provision is coming. Walk forward with faith. knowing that God is already ahead of you preparing the path, strengthening your steps, and filling your life with everything you need for the journey ahead.